Ma me fana say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Nanama ajakon atoto ensemble di amane former president. Nana adodankwa Akufo-Addo ene ni ministers. Gift your worry ene esla owusunso ede ensemble tudwa okasa fa omo ho. Eha aye PENDREAM TV. Subscribe to channel na. Da wadwentire comment section ho like na share dwumadi no ma afoforo ensa enkabi. Yenti ensema nanama ajakon ede atudwa.
Ene de evangelism no ko parliament omu yo. Nyamesom no omu koka. We ya no mu quote Bible. Ma Bible verses is here because omo hunu say boni a omo digana no. Boni Akufo-Addo ni ministers mu digana no. De ba wo muso mu ntimi ngina no. Enu a ono abo abu Jinapor no parliament kwa ma me video no. Ma me abu Jinapor video. Enu asem okaye. Na president Mahama na mu kura lusu yot na Ghana ha. Airbus. Special prosecutors were investigating. Wo dwane ye. When dwane. No ati Ghana ha ya. Wo dwane wo beba. Baby a be dwane obekobia wo beba. President Akufo-Addo ni yentimi prosecute no a. Mo amoka ho de. President Mahama be prosecute mo. Wo be dwane. But wo beba. Gift you a worry. Wo beba. Sesikano. Wo masters adwuma na wo ye. Enti se wontimi nkyira wo masters dia wo kwa akodem. E na wo so kra no wo na wo da no national service. Yesu di bit of football club. Ayiri se pampe. Ayiri se pampe. No wako no oba no wako no oba no wako no oba. Sa to mo wo opposition. Wo atwaniti. Wo de ni safem. Oba ban mu a ohunu yese yetimi di ghost names. 81,000 Edugu National Service for payroll so pe enu ofra ase share we ga bodin ai we ya no akacho ase wa bobra ai ne we ya on be kacho so ma bobra se si ya ma bobra fo abobra na no mehu se Sam George so ono so de akwa attorney general so advice wo mo eslo wusu contract ahodo a was signing ye de on be ye me se omo na o omo na ne ya ma wo mo so enda organa ha omo na ne nanso pa de omo nanso organa ha.
Mr. Speaker, you are a leader and you should know that when something is public record, especially in this house, we do not tender any evidence. Professor Mike Oquaye, then Speaker, made a ruling on the matter in this chamber. You were seated here. Professor Mike Oquaye wrote to the CID in respect of this matter. And so what other evidence do you want me to tender when it's captured in the Hansard? Anything captured in the Hansard, you don't tender any evidence. Mr. Speaker, I am saying that on that fateful day, Mr. Speaker, on that fateful day, when my house was raided by AK-47 wielding national security operatives, when they banged on my door, creating fear and panic, sending my 6-year-old child into a state of hysteria, into a state of fear. We had members here. They never commented on it. And I commend Professor Mike Oquaye on that day when you stood up and ruled that what they were doing was wrong. Mr. Speaker, they took my phone, they took my laptops, and took it to the United Kingdom to investigate me. Today, a very simple matter. You are scared of it. Mr. Speaker, let me explain something. The OSC has declared Mr. Threätens as a fugitive. As a fugitive. Mr. Speaker, in our local language, fugitive, in our local language, it means that or to put it simply, wajibab, or in the Hausa language, otilo, or to put it in a more simpler way, yagudu. It's as simple as that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, We should not be afraid of accountability. As public officials, when they took my laptop, it got to a point they couldn't even open the iPhone. I told them I was willing to come and use my fingerprint. It was then and there that they told me that the phones had been taken to the United Kingdom. I had to give them the password. Eventually, the very America that I was accused of, a minister was dismissed because it came here padded by almost $800 million. Mr. Speaker, on this auspicious day, on this day of reckoning, on this day of accountability, the only thing I can say is that we wish the man in white,
5 minutes.
the best of luck. You can't do this to me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you are a leader. And you should know that when something is public record, especially in this house, we do not tender any evidence. Professor Mike Oquaye, then Speaker, made a ruling on the matter in this chamber. You were seated here.
Oh no, I'm a position. You have a phones, a laptop. Now I am ready. He was willing. Say password be an baby the amawom. Because now on him do this year. I'm a fan of phone and a laptop and the collaboration so I'm a be. So I'm going to do a motion. I married you. Omunya and Quamucho Muko redeem fee. Master G-way can offer it because Master say OSP channel. And then almost say special prosecutor channel no almost say oral for representative report Edema President Mahama. And near ma almost shortlist no can offer it who boom no and one almost say pa yen creative be Magana for and I ready can offer it fee. Why na Jimmy Wagana has say about ready can over who go ready if you're there na kwakofa. Can offer it if you're on dollars and paper and why I catch us what to do. Sala Bonnie, ya dancing so baby and efa, a good antimony watching. Why I catch us a self, you know, or this cash him. And as I walk to documents be on and no end to know, say Mujina Parliament and Motiatiamu, say one a lead, why President Mahama and the best Sanchez and Corredicano, and then I walk up. And now Stephen Amua or Kasai sticker. They say, Miss Omadane, eh? Reverend fathers, bishop, professors, prophet for evangelism on Parliament Oquaye. Because I hear to Omo Brom once for Parliament pa. Afe, Afena Mark is in our catch that Ghana for say we are one family.
Emphatically clear that Ken Ofirata hasn't run away. Mr. Speaker, I would like to advise this August House that I think our actions and omissions over the years have actually defined us, and we have given the public, the external stakeholders, to always see us in different lenses. And it is time we put an end to what we are doing to each other. Mr. Speaker, some of the descriptions they're giving, some even went to the extent of saying that the economy that he left, in fact, I cannot repeat those evil words they use in-house. Mr. Speaker, 2016, the economic Ken Ofirata inherited was growing at 3.4%. Mr. Speaker, the inflationary rate was 15.4. Mr. Speaker, lending rate was about 40%. But for COVID, by 2019, we were growing 7%. Inflation was 7%. Under Ofirata, we have been able to implement one of the most enviable pro-poor policies on the continent of Africa. How could you describe such a man because of global crisis? Your own former finance minister, do you know the description you are giving to your country? Do you know how you are placing Ghana on the globe because of politics? Do you know what you're doing to your country? Very soon, your ministers will be leaving Ghana for other places, for international assignments. And this is what they will read from your own lips. Mr. Speaker, we shouldn't allow this outmoded, colloquial, primitive politics to continue to destroy our country. Mr. Speaker, we are one people with one destiny as a nation. Mr. Speaker, I am only advising the House.
Honorable Sivinamwa, did I hear you say primitive politics?
No, I'm talking about Ghana.
Will you consider withdrawing the word primitive politics?
Okay. Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, I have done so. But Mr. Speaker, I think I have to make myself clearer here. I am not even speaking against one side. I am talking about actions and inactions, omissions and behaviors that are dwindling the very reputation of this House. We've been doing this to ourselves for far too long. Now, every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, even if you are driving a Land Cruiser, they think you're a politician. Whether NDC MPP, they don't respect us. And this is why I'm bringing it to our attention. That do we allow yesterday's
2018 no. Predictions are IMF no World Bank because of policies who do not President Mahama Ediago. They call IMF. They run no much shower mine no. Etino, all the Wahwa set 2017 the economy grew by this percentage 2018-2019. Nini na ye time wa ye wa IMF conditionalities mu na ye di o mo hwehwe yeso na President Mahama ka ye say ye budget no ye ndi mane mroso budget deficit no ye be kate ama na ba fom na wo ka say obi ebeji inflation 15% can operate inflation ko 54%. Or they call COVID because can offer international market air compare euro bond where you be into the inflation ko 54%. Omu defend can offer because can offer bond here where the Ghana no stika why ye wom. Mama minority leader, micro minority leader. Ono se submission. Ni entwa so ne yenko yanim. Omugu parliament one he the real oma ye wo Ghana hanom no na me bo afenyo markings we are ECG this week ya report bi aba last year say afenyo markings na ye board chairman me bo so na me de akere na de show ni me producer wa hye ne say you know me producer ni Eugene momunyike mo boy adwuma wa kire ho I said, so, no time no do, ye need time. Ye born a papa neako. Canoforiata, Obeba. Say, Canoforiata say COVID. And a man gonna say, ya. What do your omra match Ghana for say a COVID in Tina Ghana say? Aye. Almost say COVID in Tia, oh dear. Omra Ghana. Now may you document. No match Ghana for. Wakwaji loan na wogia no enye se loan na wogi loan no na wutua loan timi do man kwakwaji loan euro bond a ma e was start to 10 years 50 30 years adwum bone osore anu ahye white se kwamaja white she white bi adwum bone no he ena okotu bible enipa bia o kasa ho no onwenwi bia no timu osum nipa bia ho o kasa o hwani mu a no onwenwen no afenese no onwenwen aso osere aso wonsere no aye white no kotu bible bone pa bone no di Ghana bone no di Ghana nya no di gina parliament na wo dwene wo man ho a wo ye president na wo dwene wo man ho a wutimi do man kokoji loan say 30 years 35 years e betua loan no na wanya nkrofo say honorable members no mu defend no hwe ayi ye frɛ ho say ayi supplement containers egu ho hwe gold hwe dollars egu Ghana for euro bond cocoa loan other loans o mo je ye no ebi na si wanu no ebia eno ye kakra bi eno he eno ye be 1% pe eno ye be 1% pe sika o ma hwie wo Ghana ha no ebi nsi da enka Ghana ni bia ntu kwan se wo kwa America or kwa Canada akoye clean or kwa akodi pa sika 8 years e ba Ghana coffers mu no senki enya ni papa se ye leader enka wo kwa brochi akoye clean akwa akoye den area nka akwa akoye ho with all the resources go there ye to Ghana ha me try afenyo markings eba okay gold ye tu e wo Ghana ha enka gold no mu de o man ni nya de free mu no ene ye se de aye factories industries wo Ghana ha wo sorry na no pa wutu car wo hwe be ma wa hye jeans e de agu ne nsa so jeans ultimi se 190 free odoko ene de abedu Christian village or peduma ebe ma ne 1005 ebi ni ho the last time she a guy be nice guy rubber bucket ya jire no ne bra kwa na bre no obrefo ultimi hu se onyadwuma on monthly basis monthly obenya 1000 kranko pe but ebi ni ho Keno Foriata apart from data bank enterprise insurance no enyuma sen wa bie wa Ghana ha after scanner wonya ye nyina no sen wo bie ye e wa Ghana ha no mo a Ghana ni nya bia ye ebi ni ho nya dia ebi wo ho no mo sika na o munya ye no sika ni Ghana ha sika no ko sikano every Ghana ha say eko eni ha membo afenyo markings so ona na ye diva afenyo markings na ye ayi board chairman ECG okay unimwe PwC has concluded a second audit of ECG's accounts covering a longer time period January to December 2024 okay me send kwama kwame na o de on show na me read ni nyina na Ghana fo nso enhwe bi omo the first report bi by FIECG ho a na de omo ye wo ho we nso me pese Ghana ni hwe bi de enti a omo frɛ ase ye evangelism wo parliament no me ye me send ya makwame na me okay me forward my uses na Ghana fo nhwe bi de enti asese no omo ni abra omo keka sansem no e wo parliament ho okay and the PwC has concluded a second audit of ECG's account covering a longer time period January to December 2024 and the previous audit was for only the last quarter of 2023 here are some key findings and the ECG 1 wey a shorter yibina me screenshot you fan to see we ani abo afenyo markings video no enti one or say ECG continued to under declare revenues to the regulator in 2024 it under declared revenues by 5.3 billion cedis. Its account showed it collected 15.8 billion but it told the regulator it collected 10.4 billion Ghana cedis. Say oh follow me enti PwC enyambre ECG for enkratemu ECG account from January to December 2024 and that Facebook ni so na PWC ehwe from January to December 2024 no collections a ECG eye 15.8 billion Ghana cedis. Edami Facebook no so mpacho monhwe. Under the board chairmanship of Afenyo Markins, ECG from January to December 2024, revenue collection 15.8 billion Ghana cedis, but Omu declare 10.4 billion Ghana cedis. Omu and declare 5.4 billion Ghana cedis. Even though we declare 10.4 billion Ghana cedis now, ECG declares as a cow munyaye no. Maybe children muchiaye. The Sabbath children do Messiah was. Even though ECG significantly under declared revenues, it still didn't pay value chain players properly based on what it declared and cash waterfall mechanism. Was it of the 10.4 billion cedis declared, it paid 6.5 billion, leaving a variance of 3.9 billion. Mushiam papa kwa jada muka so aya the pass do mi ko su. Smoke we wi me bro for baba. Yeah. Enti enie empokura na ojiji 15.8 billion Ghana cedis. We see the 15.8 billion Ghana cedis na. When declaring in an account muno, PWC nyambre a share ECG account from January to December 2024 no. Under the board chairmanship of Afenyo Markins no, Omu declared 10.4 billion. 10.4 billion no krano. Ya womu tuya. Womu tuya kakrana was and komu tuya 10.4 billion in yinadano. Omu tuya 6.5 billion. 9.5 billion woman. So what it means say 5.4 billion plus 3.9 billion. Who come on saying? Close to best a 9 point something billion. Close to 10 billion. And he says sikana omojeje ye no. The omu tichia 15.8 billion. Domu yitia kani. But says Ghanaians they can't account for this revenue mobilization no. Sikana isi the GD free Ghana ni hono mohono. Anfan kwankwa tia Water River Authority. Anfan kwankwa tia Gridco. Independent Power Producers. Anfan kwankwa tia 15.8 billion no. Sika ECG etua ye wo mu nyina 6.5 billion. Ya kan nyina ECG for sa yela. Afenyo Markins and a chairman. Muma mi video no. The idea say ojina parliament e ka kire NDC for say NDC for ehun say we are one family. NDC should learn from the Jinapor brothers. Ghana be the say.
But I always act in good faith. I shared with him. Although private, but I will tender it since it has been raised. Videos of soldiers in uniform raiding the residence of Mr. Keno Threätens. Mr. Speaker, indeed, he is right in saying that the man being spoken about as the one leading the team is now a civilian. That is true. Mr. Richard Jakpa, who works with national security, and indeed the one who led the soldiers, is a state security operative. But Mr. Speaker, the point is very clear.
Are you very sure that it's a state security operative?
Mr. Speaker, he says so. It's not coming from me. He confirmed. These are the words of the majority leader. It's not mine. This is Japan. That is what, so Mr. Speaker, yes, he has confirmed. He says he is a state security operative. It's not coming from me. Mr. Speaker, I have shared the videos with him. And I was fair in my dealings with him by saying that this is a matter that I want to raise. So, Mr. Speaker, let us be guided by what he has just told us and allow our colleague to proceed. I have gotten a signal from my respected colleague who has just been nominated as a deputy minister that he wants to withdraw that aspect of the submit. Oh, he says so. Please, it's not, Mr. Speaker. I will not impose anything on him. He signaled that in view of the caution from the leader, he wants to withdraw. If he wants to, that is his matter. I am only telling Mr. Speaker that's the signal he's giving me. Mr. Speaker, let's be fair with each other. This democracy that you are celebrating today. Mr. Speaker, I'm concluding. Mr. Speaker, once upon a time, we had 169 seats in this house. You have made it, enjoy it, but let us be mindful. Let us be mindful that we are a family. I told us once some weeks ago that let us learn from the Jinapor brothers. I rest my case. But I always act in good faith. I shared with him, although private, but I will tender it since it has been raised. Videos of soldiers in uniform raiding the residence of Mr. Threätens. Mr. Speaker, indeed,
we are one family, brothers and sisters. We are one family. I wish you for the Ghana for accountability, because accountability and a Ghana for Twaba, Edema President Mahamani NDC. The Ghana for accountability, because Ghana for Ntiase say Ghana etimi essay edum pempenswa enipa da sani be sorry from an opakot manager na aduane wa na bi World Bank the report by say Ghana for over 800,000, is it 800,000 800 BBB ye ka ade friend say poverty ohia pass wo hia Ghana for bi demusa report ba ma yehunu say Ghana for bitimi sorry on daily basis okoda kura aduane oni bi
yeda wate se wanya bre aka ya ho amye de ensem ne nya ba na we subscribe to channel like na share dwumadi ma afoforo ensa enka bi
Dedi kama Mamenna Pendream TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, Pendream TV.